Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ritika and in this video we will be discussing about remaining networking devices. In previous video we have discussed about NIC repeaters, hubs and bridges. In this video we will be discussing remaining of them. So first let us discuss about switch. What is a switch? A network switch forwards data packets between devices. Switches send packets directly to the devices rather than sending it to the network. When a switch is connected in a network, it sends the data packet from the source to the destination rather than sending it just to the network. A switch is a data link layer device. It works on data link layer, that means it works on MAC address. When the data is been received, when the packet is been received by the switch, it does not forward it directly. If the packet contains errors, it rectifies the error and then it sends forward. It is a small device that transfers data packets between multiple network devices such as computers, routers, servers and other switches. It transfers data packets between multiple network devices. Okay, now what is a gateway? So basically it acts as a gate between the internet and the devices or the networks. So what do you mean by identification? When do you need identification? When someone asks you, if there is a big company and you are being introduced to that company, so they ask you first the identification. What is the identification? That you are a part of that company. So this is an example of identification. When you go from the public network to a private network, so to access the private network, to get into the private network, you need an identification. That is the work done by gateway is in between the public and the private network. So next, what is a router? A router establishes communication between two different networks. A router is a device like a switch that routes data packets based on their IP address. So, a router is a network layer device. All the devices which are of which work on the network layer of an OSI model, they have to deal with the IP address. Means the router. See, we have studied repeaters. Repeaters are the devices working on MAC address of a device. So routers work on IP address rather than checking the MAC address. Routers are the devices which connect the LAN and the WAN network. In a router, there is an Ethernet cable through which the internet enters into it, and there are other ports through which it is connected with other devices. Like you have a router at your home, so all the devices are connected to the router. Your home network is a LAN network, and the network through which the internet is coming to your router, that is a WAN network. So it is the interface between your LAN and WAN network. Router divides broadcast domains of host connected through it. It gives wire and wireless both connectivity. It divides the host, all the devices which are connected to your network, and it is wire or wireless. See, there is Ethernet port through which you can connect all of your devices, or there is a wireless functionality also through which you can communicate with internet without an Ethernet cable. So there is a diagram. This is how your router works. See, when the data comes from the internet to your router, and then your router is connected to a LAN network, which is your home network, to which your computer, your laptop, your printer is connected through the wires, and wireless networks are also available. So now what are routers? Routers are the networking devices that functions as a bridge and a router. So it has both functionality, which it works as a bridge also and it works as a router also. So you should not get confused, so I have made a table for you. When it works as a bridge, it forwards the data between the network, and when it works as a router, it routes the data individually with the devices. When it works with the as a bridge, it works on data link layer, and in the data link layer the data is transferred in the form of packets. And when it works as a router, it works on network layer, which deals with the IP address. And when the data is transferred in a network layer, so it is in the form of frames. Then in the bridge, it has a MAC table inside it. It creates a MAC table, it deals with the MAC table. And when it works as a router, it creates a routing table. So it does not have its own any functionality, it does works as a bridge and router itself. So this was a router. It is rarely used nowadays. Now what is a modem? Modem stands for modulator demodulator. So a modem converts analog signals to the digital signals, and sometimes the digital to analog also. What I am trying to say is, simply a modem is the connection between the internet and your router, which gives your router the internet. Nowadays it is not used, but earlier it was used. Now its functionality, its work is done by router itself, so it is not much popular nowadays. So a modem, what it does is it provides the internet connection to your router, and then router provides it to all of your devices. So this was modem. Okay, now we are done with all of the networking devices. First we have discussed NIC repeaters, hubs and bridges in our previous video, and now we have discussed all these.